It is another episode of Say It Loud. What up, y'all? Thank you for checking me out. So I'm gonna say this because I'm so excited to have you here. I really am. So I've been following is it sexual essentials or sex essentials?
Sexual essentials.
I've been following sexual essentials. I don't know how long, but a very long time. And I was like, oh my God, I got to get her on the show. She needs to be here. So thank you so much for joining me today on Say It Loud and taking a hot seat. I
No
appreciate
problem.
you. Can
Thank
you
you
tell
for
all our
having
listeners,
me.
of course, can you tell all our listeners who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. So, my name is Samaya. I'm the owner of Sexual Essentials. And what I do, or what I classify myself as, is I'm a hands on sexual educator. So, what that means is that I teach people how to have sex, but much more in depth is hands on. So, you don't get to just get my top 10 tips for this or top 10 tips for that. You don't just have to sit in a class and listen to me lecture. I put that ass to work. So, you actually have to do it. So I teach classes, a mouth master class where I teach women how to give oral pleasure. I teach a dick riding class. I think that one's self-explanatory, right?
Yes.
I teach a masturbation and squirting class, foreplay, vaginal orgasms, all of that. Um, and I have a Patreon where I also teach like other topics that don't take me as long as it takes me to teach the bigger ones.
Right.
And I break those up into mini segments. So on there, I teach men how to give, cunnilingus for radio's purposes, right?
I mean,
Um,
it's Say It Loud. You can say whatever the fuck you want here. We don't care.
Uh, so men coming to learn how to eat pussy,
Yes.
anal sex. How do you start sex toys? How do you start with kinks? What if you want to have a threesome? What if you want to have one? What if it turns you on, but you don't know if you really want to actually have like anything, all things sex? I provide the essentials to make it happen and to basically help people create the sex life that they want. That's what I
I
do.
think that's so amazing. And I think there's a lot of people listening going, I don't need that. I don't think I need that. And I wanted to start there because I feel like I swear everybody I meet know what the fuck they doing. I'm the
But
only
yet no
person
women
in
have
Black
ever had
fan history
orgasms.
don't know what I'm doing or feels like I could be better.
I feel that for a lot of people that know what they're doing, there's still a lot of women faking orgasms and a lot of women that are mothers that have never even had an orgasm before. So, until people are ready to look in the mirror and just be honest and say, you know what, I enjoy our sex, but I know we have not accomplished what it's meant for, then it's going to stay subpar because you're afraid as an adult of your partner and telling them that you didn't come?
Right. Or,
Or, like
well,
what is it? What
we
is
could
it?
go back a step because I think for me, and it's I don't know about other women, but I feel like there's a lot of women that have grown up with this, like, like almost with that theory that like women shouldn't enjoy sex too much. You know what I mean? Or we shouldn't be vocal. So another reason I wanted you here is really to just empower both men and women, because we got a lot of men listeners, but really empower both people to not be at the limit where mentally you're just so stuck in your way.
You know what I have you ever seen the movie Wreck-It Ralph?
Yes.
The cartoon movie. So in Wreck-It Ralph, whatever the little girl, the little glitch,
Yeah.
you know how she thought that it was her, it was something wrong with her, and she had to be this way. And what she found out was she was the star of the game.
Right.
That's what it's like with sex. Women think they're supposed to do less. And you know what? You know who's telling us, who's shaped that women are less when it comes to sex? The people that are intimidated and can't control it and don't understand it the most.
Right.
And in the past, that has been men, you know, um, misogyny. And so,
Yeah.
just like that game, when women start uncovering what the pussy is really made for and how to work it, oh, she starts whooping ass and she's winning the game and she's winning the game of sex. You know what I
Right.
mean? She's really the star of it. But when you don't know who you are, and for
Right.
us, when you don't know about your pussy, then guess what? Anybody can use your pussy against you because you don't even understand what you're working with over there. And
Right.
so
And
women always think that like sex is dictated by men when really it is definitely the other way around. It's just they don't know how to teach you that. So now that there's a woman here doing it, let me teach you. And I
right.
know so many women sit there, lay on their back, having sex, and trying to sneak their vibrator out when he going to get in the shower. Like, I know you tired of doing that. Like, what do you have to lose just even coming to one of my classes and just hearing what I have to say? If you don't like it, you could block me, you could talk crap, like you could do so many other things. But guess what? That doesn't happen. You just end up signing up for another course and another course and you
Well, you
know.
know what it is too. No one teaches us about sex. No one
Mhm.
teaches us. Who's it? You know, you don't really learn. I don't know about any. I don't know where everybody else learned, but I
That's
know it was
Pornhub and
your
your
mother.
friends.
Yeah, it was your mother telling you not to do it, and that was pretty much it. Right? You don't want to get pregnant. Don't have sex. And then it was your friends and you whispering at school and things like that until you kind of get in those situations where you're doing it. And at that point, still, there's no real healthy discussion or education around it.
Absolutely not. In sex ed, they just teach you how to put a condom on a banana, don't get pregnant, and that you have a period, and then everybody says ew, and then that's the end of it.
Right.
Nobody teaches you, oh, okay, sex isn't over. Like, they teach you about the male orgasm because the orgasm for them is needed to procreate.
Right.
But our orgasm scientifically, when it comes to reproduction, the world sees it as it doesn't matter because it doesn't create life.
Right.
So, like,
Yeah. So there's a lot of women walking around who have never had an orgasm.
it's women that's walking around that got bombs on them and they don't even know it. They got some bomb ass. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's get back on track.
No,
It's a
no,
whole
no,
bunch
no.
of
Go
women.
ahead. Go ahead. No, I totally agree. I really feel like there's a lot of
They
women
don't,
that
they don't know. But yeah, it's a lot of women that have never had an orgasm. And there's someone out here who's listening and they're like, okay, well, I think I have. I'm not sure. How do you know if you've had an orgasm? And I tell people all the time, if I asked you, have you taken a shit on yourself? Even if you didn't know, you would know
right, 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 right,
if
right.
you took a shit on yourself.
Yes.
You know if you did. That's exactly how an orgasm feels. It is one of them things like, oh shit. Oh.
Oh,
Got it. Got it.
got it.
Got it.
Oh my God. When I think about that, that's so sad though. Cause I'm like,
That's absolutely sad.
yeah,
It's
that's
very sad.
That's sad. Well, for those of you that are listening that are now have piqued your interest, we want to create a healthy space. So you definitely need to follow her and take a class. I actually, the next time in New York, I am actually going to come to a class because I'm a fan, and I feel like it's not even just about learning how to have sex, or learning your body. It's also about being confident. And the more you know about your own body, the more confident you're going to feel, and the more confident you feel in yourself, the better your sex is going to be, regardless.
Absolutely.
So for me, it's building that confidence of being there and knowing what you're doing, and not being in a situation as a woman where you're waiting for someone to do it for you, but you are capable of reaching that climactic orgasm by yourself if you have to.
Absolutely. And I love that what you said about confidence. I think that some of that is really the part because a lot of women say they're shy and they don't know how to be bold, but then you give them a glass of Moscato and then they Meg the Stallion in like 2 seconds. So it's like, you know what to do. You just don't have the confidence to do it. So pack up that bullshit and put it in your pocket. I don't want to hear
Right.
that. Like,
Yeah.
stop. You know how to
I,
do it when you want to.
yeah, I also think it's really important for your classes to not just be about women, but to be about men as well. We have a lot of men listeners, and I love them. I love my dudes because they take very good care of me. But I got to tell you something about men. Every man swear up and down he know what he doing. I've never met a man in the world
That
ever
say he don't know what he doing.
that say he don't know what he doing. And there's a lot of times that us women are laying there and he down there and we just like, you know what? Just give me the remote. Fuck it. You know?
I feel, I feel that the sexiest thing that I've learned as I got older, the type of men that I'm attracted to, um, and ladies, pick this up. Like, this is how you find big dick, not just big energy, but good dick energy. You know, we need more than big dick energy these days. We need good dick because it'd be a lot of y'all walking around with these sausages that don't know where the hell to put it and how to use it.
Right.
So, and more than big dicks, we need good dick.
Right.
To
Healthy
find
dick.
it, yeah, healthy. Ooh, that sounds girthy as hell.
Yeah, healthy dick. I want good, healthy dick. Like,
Good girthy.
if you need to. Nah, I'm serious. The next man I meet, I'm saging that motherfucker. We starting fresh.
You need good and girthy. So I feel like something that really attracts me to a man is a man that is not bragging on his dick, but the first thing that he asks you is, how do you like this and how do you like that? And it tells me that you understand who's really in charge of this show. Like, you take care of me, and this is going to take care of you. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, men should are. I feel like men are very selfish because, and not all men, of course, but overall, men are selfish as if they're not going to come. You know you're going to come.
Right.
You know it.
Right.
You
It's
know
given.
sometimes that she doesn't, and yeah, I don't understand that. So I, even if a man tells me like, "Oh, I'll do this to you," it's an instant turn off to me. That's some high school shit to me, girl.
Right.
I tear that ass up. Like, what?
How old are we? How you gonna do that?
Like, sir, stop. I
Or what you do for one woman and might have worked with her may not necessarily work with every other woman.
absolutely, absolutely that part too.
So
But
that conversation needs to be had because that other woman might have made you feel like, you know what, I got this. I don't need to know anything else. And then you meet me and it's like, that's not cutting it. And it's not one woman against the other. It's just that we have different interests and our bodies are different and what we need is different. Um, so how did you start Sexual Essentials?
so originally, I was just looking for an outlet for. I've always been a sexual person. I like to talk about it, understand it, and share it with others because I just always ran into somebody who was like, "Oh, I didn't know that," so I'm just teaching them the stuff that I know. But overall, I was looking for a outlet um, to talk about this stuff. So I was like, "Oh, I'll just start a blog," and then boom, right? But then I was like, "Well, if I start a blog, there's a lot of parts with sex and." There are toys out there and sex stores sell everything even though all that shit ain't useful, so I'm gonna make a store that way I can only put the stuff in there that actually makes people come
Right.
um, in there, like 99.9% versus just selling anybody anything. And then I was like, well, damn, it's other people that got stories that I don't have, so I probably need to do interviews and stuff too. And I was like, okay, and then I'll start the Instagram page so people can keep up. And then I was like, wait, you know what? I just need to teach people how to have sex. Everybody else already writing about sex. So I was
Right.
like, I can do classes. But I was like, if I stand in the front and talk about sucking dick, how are they really going to get better at sucking some dick? I said, you know what? I'm going to give them a dick. Fuck it. If you come to my class, I'm going to give you a dildo. You're going to have to suck it so I can really show you how to suck
Right.
dick. And we're going to all pull out. And it just went downhill. And I was like, I need to provide a place for people to learn how to have sex. Like, I've had mothers bring their
That's dope.
daughter when they found out she was sexually active and enrolled her in every single one of my classes. Whereas, like, if you're gonna
Right.
do it right. Because think
Right.
about how many people we wouldn't have slept with if we knew what we knew now.
Right.
Like,
For
there
real.
are so many signs beforehand that this is not going to give you what you want, but we don't know anything about sex. We're depending on somebody else to provide pleasure for us.
Right.
And so we failed anyway. So I want it to be a one-stop shop to learn everything that you need. Even if I don't dive into some topics, I will hit on it and then direct you to the next place that you need to go to. But as far as the essentials of sex, Sexual Essentials provides it, along with vaginal health. I realized a lot of women were not popping the pussy to the best of their ability because they were worried about how they smell,
Right.
and being misinformed and buying Summer's Eve and shit like that will give you a yeast infection.
Right.
Um, so I went to a black manufacturer and, now I have Yoni oil and Fem Wash.
Yay. I'm gonna order some.
Girl, it's amazing.
I'm
And,
gonna order some. I can't wait.
I just, I don't know. I feel like it's just the real world thing, the thing that just was missing out of sex ed.
No, I think it's great. I think what you're doing is amazing because, like I said, especially as a woman of color, you know what I mean? To be able to make the connection and to create a space for both men and women to be like, you know what? I want to learn how to do this and I want to be more confident and I want to be better. I want to be better at sex. I want to enjoy it more. Or just even have their questions answered by someone that they're comfortable, that like looks like me and feels like me and thinks like me. Because there's other places you could go and you're like, damn, I don't know if I want to ask this question, or is
Yeah,
this person looking down on me? You know what I mean?
and
Here I am, a mother, or here I
sometimes
am at 40, and so really creating a space where it's just like, nah, it's cool. Just ask me what you need to ask me. Let me show you. Here, hold this dildo. I'm gonna hold this dildo. We're gonna do this. And by the time you leave here, you're gonna feel a lot better about what it is that you're doing.
equipped. You know, a lot of people think that telling kids not to have sex and worry about this, worry about that. If they understood what sex was supposed to feel like and how to make it happen, I assure you they would be waiting a little longer, because it would be clear when you talk to other people that they don't know what they're talking about. But we send these kids out here without being informed, and then they make all these bad decisions because they were just looking for the thing that you've been hiding from them, saying, you know, if you tell a kid don't do this, don't
They're
do this,
gonna do it.
because they like, oh, that shit must be dope. Then I got to try this.
It's true.
And so they're looking for it, and they're searching, and they're just looking for, where's that thing I saw on Love and Basketball, or where's that, you know, like in
Right.
sex scenes in these movies. Where's that? And they're searching for it, but we haven't provided them any information about what they should be looking for sexually. You
Right.
know,
Or how that should feel.
how it should look and how to do it yourself first. Because if you get with anybody, they can know how to do a lot of things with the people in the past. But if you can't direct them on how to get to the destination you want them to be at, how are they going to get there? You know?
All right. So I got a question for you as a male or female, because we have a lot of listeners of both. When would a person know like they need a sex coach? When do you think, like, what are some of the red flags? Like, if you feel this way, duh, you need to take my class.
hmm Actually, I think that ironically, sometimes it's what are the green lights that tell you that you need a sex coach. It's not just because something is wrong. Sometimes it's because you guys have reached either a new level, or you want to try something different, or you just, it's like a car. Life, relationship, sex, all of it is like a car. You have to go get it maintenance. You have to go get oil changed. You have to get the tires changed. You have to take care of it if you want it to keep running smoothly. And if you plan on being with anybody for a long period of time, sex has a lot of things, and you only know what you know. And
Right.
so you are responsible for figuring out, is there more that you want to know? If so, go get a sex coach so you can explore more things healthy, in a healthy way, in a way that is without regret, you know, in a way that is properly informed. Like, you don't want to try tying up in bondage and you hurt someone because you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Um, or just to refine that spark. Sometimes it's like there are so many women that used to love doing stuff sexually, and then they have kids and they get into this life of responsibility. And yeah, they still like it, but they don't love it the same way they used to when they were young and carefree. And going to a sex coach can help you make your pleasure a priority. Like,
Right.
you hire an accountant to do your taxes, right? You hire someone to take care of your yard. You hire someone to
Take care of
take
your
care of your
kids.
car, hell, your kids. But you don't hire anyone to take care of you sexually. And then you wonder why you can't do it all, as if you're superwoman.
Right. Or why that part of your life is lacking, and you know what I mean? But we don't put that
And you
same
don't,
energy and that work into it.
and you don't know why. And because you are worried about, oh, if we got a sex coach, that means that our sex is bad. But people that are getting help with their sex life have the best sex lives because it's open, it's honest, it's vulnerable. And what really makes you superwoman or superman is getting the assistance you need to do it all. You can do it all, just not by yourself. You know, everything is not your ministry. Okay, like,
Right. Right. Let the professionals do what they do. Yeah.
let the professionals do what they do, and you be a great teacher. Take a load off. Just listen for once and see where it takes you. You only know what you know. You don't know anything else outside of that. And we forget that we don't know everything,
Right.
you
I
know?
definitely agree with that. Couples that have children, it changes the sex in their sex lives. And at that point, you do need to make that a priority, like that intimacy, a priority in your life. And if it means, again, like you said, if it means that, like, okay, every Tuesday night we got to go leave the house or get a babysitter or go on a date so that we could have that time together, then that's it. Or let me show, or let's take this class together. Then that's part of the work, you know?
I definitely agree, but I feel like there's something that's missing. A lot of people think that the sex after marriage is just different because of those two and them having a child and the life changing. But mostly, a lot of the sex after a child is different because she is different,
Mhm.
and she doesn't even it,
She don't even know who she
it
is sometimes after that.
sometimes, yes, but take me for example. So I have a 3-year-old son, beautiful, huge, eats a lot, great. but he tore my pussy apart. You know, having a child, I had no sex drive afterwards. I had baby powder pussy that was dry. I was like, and you know, I wanted to have sex for the closeness, but I didn't want to have sex. I wasn't horny. I felt nothing.
Right.
And it felt like even touching down there, like it just was almost desensitized in a way. And what I realized is it didn't matter how many practices you do with someone else to try to make a moment intimate. We have to take care of the female body first to do that. And
Hmm.
so that's honestly where the class Masturbation and Squirting 101 was born from. It was born from those are all the things that I did to get my pussy back after I had my child.
That's so
But
crazy.
I felt like people weren't going to buy a class that was called, oh, pussy after postpartum. Like, you know, because
No,
everybody
I
going to think that
actually
it has
think
to
you
do.
should have a class called Pussy After Postpartum.
But
So I had the opposite effect. I have 3 children. My youngest is 11, and when I had my son, I had the total opposite. I was horny. I wanted to have sex, and I felt like my partner did not satisfy me. And I thought there was something wrong with me. I was like, it must be all this because it was my first son. So I was like, maybe I just got all this extra testosterone in my body. Like, why? Because I didn't feel like that after I had my daughters. But after I had my son, I was like, maybe it's because I'm 30. Like maybe when you get in your 30s, like think of it.
I heard that pussy changed when you turn
Yeah,
30. I'm
yes, no,
patiently
for real.
waiting.
I have my daughters at younger ages. I was a teenager when I had my oldest daughter, and my other daughter, I was in my 20s, and then I hit my 30s, and I just was not satisfied. I was like, you not. I don't know if it's the baby, the testosterone, or what, but you not cutting it. Like you not. This is not. If I got to be stuck with this for the rest of life, we got some problem. And it just changed for me where I did not feel like that prior to having my son.
That and honestly, that's something to be super grateful for because a lot of women are younger and then they knew what they felt like sexually before, and then they have a child and they feel that decline because of all the hormonal changes. Um, but I refuse to sell a class called Pussy After Postpartum because what I realized is that the masturbation and squirting class, it all teaches the same thing. And
Right.
so when people listen to me talk and if they read the descriptions, they'll figure out, okay, this will I put it in there. This is the answer to your sex drive after, but because otherwise you're selling the same thing twice.
Right.
It's just keeping up with your sexuality helps you do more than one thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not just postpartum care. It's the masturbation and squirting class is a great class for women who've never had an orgasm before. It's a great class for people who don't know how to masturbate. If you need to know how to have longer orgasms, harder orgasms, stronger ones, more frequent. If you're trying to switch it up and find a new way to do this or that, if you want to learn how to squirt, it does all those things and helps you after postpartum. So it was just like this is just an all inclusive
Yeah,
class, you
I
know.
definitely think that's worth it. Like you said, it could be for postpartum, but it could be for someone who's just like, I want to learn how to squirt. I've heard it
Oh, absolutely.
because I feel like that's a big thing women talk about too. It's like I've never squirted before, and it's just like, how do I get there? You know what I mean? And then or women become very reliant on having a partner to do it versus being able to
Mhm.
masturbate and squirt on their own.
I definitely feel like it's easier for people to squirt during sex when they know how to maneuver it by themselves first. I feel like that about anything sexually.
Right.
Um, but I also think that the world has a fixation on this idea of squirting because women have faked orgasms for so long that men, I think, want a visual
Right.
representation that you're not
I mean,
faking.
so I know it's real.
But that's the thing. Women can squirt and they didn't have an orgasm. And so there is no way to tell when a woman is faking. All you can do is be thorough. If you're thorough and you are open to being critiqued and open to her suggestions, she may trust you enough to tell you the truth that she did not come. If you're not available for someone, like if you're not going to listen to her, she's just going to fake it with you. So
Right.
if you're not really approachable, you'll never know. She'll never tell you the truth and she won't have to. But I do encourage you ladies, don't be faking. Don't be faking because how can anybody change anything if you telling them that what they're doing is the answer?
I don't think women should be faking for that reason, but I also feel like if you're in a relationship with someone and you plan on being there and that being a healthy relationship, then faking sex, faking orgasm is going to eventually tap into some other part of your relationship. It's
Mhm.
not, you know what I mean? Because you're not fully satisfied. So at some point, it's going to start creeping into other areas of your life. And if that's the person you want to be with, and that's your partner, you need to be able to communicate about that.
Absolutely.
That's my
And you're
opinion.
gonna end up with blue pussy, just like blue balls. You don't want to do that. So stop faking so we can get
Uh,
to the bottom of it.
so, what are some things that the men need to know?
I think men need to learn how to eat pussy. That's one. They
Do you
down.
have a class for that?
Yeah, it's on my Patreon. My Patreon is there are two options. So you can do um well, forget that. I don't feel like explaining it all. Look here,
Go,
there's
go to
on
Patreon.
my Patreon. If you go to the highest tier, you get everything, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, I do classes in there, classes that don't take me an hour, like things that I can teach in 15 or 20 minutes. And I have over 40 something classes in there about all different types of things to learn how to do a lot of different stuff. And I have two pussy eating, it's a two-part class to teach men how to eat pussy. And I definitely put that in there because they'd be down there and slashing their tongue around
Oh my
it's a pig, like it's a pig trough or something. And it's just like, what is this?
Then, in their defense, how are they supposed to learn how to do this?
Calling me.
Some guys is like, I know what to do, and you're just looking at, you just sitting there like, you, no.
If you listening to this, and you know what, and men feel like they doing it right because also some women don't know how to correct them. But I feel like even I would rather take a sex class and find out that I knew everything than
Right?
to not take it and then just be wondering, damn, should I have taken that class?
Yeah.
Like it's always something that you can learn, but no, I break it down. Absolutely. I put it out there.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen that are listening, I implore you to Valentine's Day is coming. Patreon is there. Y'all might buy a class, gift a class to somebody. You know what I mean? We don't know how to start conversations. It might be a good way to start a conversation and be like, you know what? Let's take this class together. I got you. I gifted you, a class to so and so. This is going to change your life, because I do feel like people need to have these conversations. And when it comes to both egos, both men and women, we're not very open sometimes to being critiqued.
No, it is honestly, it's we have to learn how to talk to each other out of love and take the ego out of it, and also just accepting that whomever you're talking to is human. So if it hurts their feelings, that's normal. And we have to learn to deal with these human emotions that, the person who's telling you something is going through and the person hearing it is going through. Be more understanding and stop trying to be perfection. Stop trying, like, I feel like everybody's trying to be like look a certain way and be a certain way versus just telling the truth. A lot of people thinking the exact same shit, but y'all trying to hold up this like persona
Facade,
as if you
right?
have it together, as if your marriage is perfect, your boyfriend girlfriend relationship is perfect, or that you just get all the like what you're doing. Like,
Right. Yeah,
who
and
even
that's what
asked you all
I'm saying.
that?
I always meet people, and it's like I be seeing these little girls walking around rapping WAP and this my WAP, and I'm like, little girl, wait till you
Do
get to
you
like
really?
30 or
Do
40.
you really have the wops? Like,
Really? Wait till when I was, because now that I'm grown, I mean I'm grown, but now that I'm grown, I'm like,
woman.
when I was 19 and 20, I didn't know shit.
You really ain't have it like that.
No,
You had quick. Your pussy was quick. It didn't take long to start up, but you really wasn't at its top tier. You know,
no. Like, you get to 30 and 40, now we
you're like,
unlock a new level.
oh, see, that's primed. That's primed pussy now.
Yes, it's seasoned. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like we need to get there though. I feel
It's
the same thing with men. I don't know. Maybe I'll have another guy on the show and he could tell me. But I feel like the same thing with men. You can't tell me that what you was doing at 19 and 20 is the same thing you're doing at the like sex at 19 and 20 is not the same sex you're having at 35 and 45. It can't possibly be.
that, and then got to learn to stop fucking everything. I love sex just as much as the next person, and I wish I could have as much of it as I wanted. But I really realize you cannot fuck everybody because if there is no sexual chemistry, the sex gonna be whack and you
Can we
waste.
talk about that, please? Because I have a big hang up with that.
Oh, having a lot of sex or
No, I wanna have a lot of sex. If it was up to me, I had sex every day. If it was up to me, I don't have a
you don't
partner
have
that
anybody
has
you
sex every
connect.
day.
You
And
can't.
I'm big on chemistry and connection,
And I
right?
think that people, you know what it is? I feel like in this world, it's a hookup culture, right? Which I feel like if you're doing it safely, it's fine, even though I don't have any trust that the world is doing that, seeing that we can't even stay in the house for COVID and
I'm not
put on a
about that
mask.
life. I mean,
But
I respect other people. I'm just not about that life.
I feel like if you could do it properly and safe, I understand that. Like some people never get married, some people never settle down, or some people are not monogamous. And so they're used to having three partners at
Right.
a time. And they may be with them three partners longer than people have been with one partner,
It's
right?
true.
But long story short, I'm saying that I feel like a lot of people are not having the right type of sex. They're just having a lot of it. And it's not shaming anybody, but I'm saying I finally understand that I don't want to fuck everybody.
Right.
I do in my lustiness, but I don't because I don't believe in having bad sex.
Right.
So when people be like, see, she ain't fucking everybody. Oh, trust me, I want to. I'm just not
Right.
because I know it's not going to be good. And
Right.
I don't think, and I think that this world does hookup culture based off, oh, you look good. I want to sleep with you. And that's
Yeah.
great. But in hookup culture, it's like when girls or men start digging too deep, it's like, come on now, we just hear this. And it's like, okay, people are trying to connect with you so the sex can be good to make sure y'all have sexual chemistry. The problem is that afterwards, somebody gets emotional, gets their feelings hurt. And so people start tying that the part where you get close before you actually have sex, they tie it to, oh, that means you're going to want to have a relationship afterwards. So it's like we're all speaking different languages.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like you're talking because you want your pussy to wake up from the mental stimulation, but
Yeah.
they see it as every time we get talking deep, they want to talk more afterwards. So
Yeah, but see, I'm the kind of chick that my pussy not gonna get wet if we don't do the work.
but that's the thing. People don't
That's
know how to
just
hook up.
me. Like if
It's
you just
people
took
that's
me in the
hooking up
room,
that should be hooking up.
yeah, like if you took me in a room, I was just like, take off your clothes and he there and I'm there, I'd just be like, okay, like yeah, nothing happening.
I will tell you this though. So there are people out there that just know how to work the human body and they can do it.
Yeah, and I think
I'm
that's
talking
great.
about I'm talking about you walk in a room okay. I'm gonna put myself out here for a second. You ever fucked with somebody that you ain't really want to fuck with, but you was like, you know what? I'm gonna just try it out. Like
Yeah.
maybe you were
We're
bored,
here.
or
We're
maybe
here.
you were bored, like whatever, and they like blew your mind, and you was like, I didn't
Yeah.
even like you.
Right. Well, I didn't.
And I don't now, but she do.
Yeah.
She do.
Yeah.
And it's like, how did you do that? And it's like some people that know what they're doing, it doesn't
Right.
matter. They can bring it out of you. But
Yeah. They
that's
can
another
sell it
topic
to
for
you.
another day. That's
They
another
can
topic.
sell it to you. No, I totally understand. It's happened, but for the most part, for me, I'm more like I need more chemistry than that. Like my body, I tell people all
Chemistry
the
and
time,
compatibility.
men are physical creatures, women are emotional creatures. You speak to our emotions, you speak to our pussy. It's crazy
But
because
they're the same way though. When
some
they are men
some
are
women,
the same way.
yeah, I feel like men are the same way too. I just think they're a little bit more visual and a little bit more physical. And that's why when they send you a dick pic, their reaction and your reaction is not necessarily always the same. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? You send a guy a nude and he feeling something different versus when he sends you a dick pic. You know what I mean? You're like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I'll see you later. He's like, yo, look, you know what I mean? It's just they're more physical and women are more like talk dirty to me and
Yeah.
you know.
I feel like men are like you're good unless you do something wrong. And with women, it's like you're wrong unless you do something good. And so I feel like
Yeah.
when a man is turned off from you, you cannot turn him back on. Like if he good on you, he good on you. Versus
Yeah.
women will say that she good on you and then
And
still
she
dip
was
her back
never
up.
gone. Yeah, she was never off really.
Exactly. Men are pretty strict. Like they may be more lenient in the beginning, but in the back end, they're pretty strict.
Yeah, and they're pretty more articulate than women are, in my opinion. It's always women talk more, but I feel like when a man say he done, he's done. And when he's mad, he's mad. And when he ain't talking to you, he ain't. I think they're a little bit more
They're
conscious about what they're thinking and what they're feeling. I don't think so. I think sometimes with men we don't listen enough. Because if we
Oh,
listen,
absolutely. We
if we
don't.
listen enough, they tell you everything. I'm not hungry. That's it. They're not hungry. You still cook anyway. They not hungry.
Yeah.
But
If
we
they
tend
say
to,
it, they're serious. If they say
yeah,
it, they're serious. It just takes them a long time to sometimes get it out, and women are talking to fill in the gaps. And he's just like, okay, until
but
he finally say something to sit that ass down. But
yeah, definitely. So, what are some things that women need to know about pleasing a man?
um, first of all, you got to want to do it, and you have to try to do it. Like people talk about pleasing men, but have not asked the men what they want. Um, and also, I don't think that women say what they need enough. If you want to please a man, you have to take care of you first, because otherwise, you're going to end up resenting,
Right.
excuse me, that man, or everything else, because you're putting everything else first. I think that women get upset that men keep their social lives, and we feel like, well, we stopped doing this, and we realize nobody asked you to stop doing that.
This is true.
You didn't take care of you out of your own choice. I think that if a woman is trying to take care of a man, she has to take care of herself, and that means sexually, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all of those things. um, and also be confident. You are who you are, and that person picked you for a reason, and you attract what you put out.
Right.
So if you don't like what you attracted, if you attracted somebody who takes advantage of you and talks down on you, maybe they thought it was okay because they see you do the same to yourself.
Right. Or you allowed it.
For what reason, you have to dig deeper and understand that you attract what you put out, and take care of yourself. They Men love, like, the things that you were doing to get him is what he wants you to keep doing. Don't start dropping all your shit to make time to be with him, and it's like you're not doing none of the stuff that you was
Right.
doing when he was attracted to you.
Right. Right. For sure.
And people will use it, like they'll let you sit up under them and enjoy it, blah 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 blah. Next thing you know, they bored with you, and you like, but you let me stop doing this, and they like, we didn't tell you to stop
I didn't
though.
tell you to stop. Yeah. Right. You don't do this anymore. You don't do that anymore. You just chose to stop doing those things.
Um, and then be honest sexually. Be nasty. Be nasty. Find a way to be nasty. Find your nasty. And be you. Be
I love
you.
it.
It sounds so vague, but it's like when you start taking care of yourself and being yourself and having confidence in that, the things that need to happen are going to happen. You'll speak up and ask him, hey, what can I do better for you? You'll take more initiative in your sex life. You'll be more honest about what you need, so that way you can be present sexually. All the things will happen,
I
you know.
love it. I
And we
love it.
put asterisk suck some dick, but we already knew that though. You know what I'm saying? We knew that already. So
Can we just, I'm going to let you go in a second because I can't take up all of your time, but can we just talk about sucking dick for a second? 1 second. I'm going to take the class just because I want to take the class. Cause I want to see, and it just looks like your classes look like a party, bro. I don't
they
know if anybody else has ever, I don't know who else follows you, but your classes that you have, and I know you have some classes here in New York and Brooklyn. I don't know where you are everywhere else. And when the world opens back up, everybody, please go to the class. Take your best friend, take your girlfriend, take your man,
and
take
it's
whoever.
on Zoom for now. Like, we're doing it online for now, you guys. So
But
even
it
before
was
the world opens
pour
up.
a glass of wine and sign up for the Zoom. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do the next one so that I could be there with my listeners. But
And
can
bring your dildo. You got to do it too. Even through the Zoom, they be doing. I mailed them their dildo so they can do it
we,
at home.
okay,
Yes,
cool.
it's
That's
dope.
even more exciting. We should do something for Valentine's Day. But what I want to ask is like the women that are hung up on this sucking dick thing, because there are some women that are like, I don't want to suck dick. I don't know who they are, and I hope it's not none of my friends, but there are some women who are just like, I don't want to suck dick. What are the thoughts on that?
I have two thoughts.
Okay.
One thought is that some women are pillow princesses, right? And they actually are attracted to men who are like have oral fixations that literally are just want to eat you out. Like that's all they want to do. I talked to a guy like that before. Well, I hooked up with a guy like that before. Like he was around just to eat my pussy. He never took off his clothes, anything. And what he wanted, he enjoyed it, but he said it's very difficult to get the thing I'm looking for from you because I'm used to being that person. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Mhm.
not used to laying there and relaxing. And
Right.
he said it's something so profound about a woman that's willing to accept her pleasure, know she deserves it, and lay back and get
And
it.
just take it.
Yes, and just take it. He said it's very queen, and most women don't know how to do that. Some women are laying there
Mm.
because they don't know how to do anything else, right? But there are some women that are proud pillow princesses, right? Now I found that I think I've tapped into my pillow princessness now since talking to that guy. But I also realized I'm a switch. I want to be the person that has the oral fixation, and I want to get the pleasure as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's important to know how to do both. But also for the woman that doesn't like sucking dick, I feel like maybe she's never done it right and she hasn't got the reaction and felt the control throbbing in her throat. Like I feel like she hasn't done it right.
Right.
Because when you orally please somebody, it is a whole different type of power. And there's a different type of respect that you have. And not just in that moment, but that person literally respects you because what you were able to make them feel. If you're not able to make them feel anything or change anything in their life, when you put your mouth on them, then odds are you probably aren't doing it right. And once you feel the power that you have in your throat,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of addictive because you like, okay, I feel real bad bitch right now. Like, what is
Yes.
this? And then you realize, like, you that bitch, go make me a sandwich. Go make me some fried cereal.
What you
Go
need
make
gas in your car?
go, go make me some fried cereal right now.
It's
And you're
very
like,
true.
wow.
Yeah.
So I feel like those are the two things. I feel like if you don't like, it's one thing to enjoy being a pillow princess. It's another to just dislike giving head. I feel like if you don't know how to do something, then you won't like it. Also, you might be sucking the wrong dick because when you sucking the right dick, you like it.
Right. Definitely.
Even if you don't do it all the time, you don't dislike it. If you sucking somebody's dick and you don't like it, girl,
Right. You need to
please
you
stop.
need to rethink the whole situation.
Girl, let the whole thing go. That's not right.
Yeah, I also think women that feel that way, what hangups are you coming to sex with? That's what I'd be thinking about. Like, this must have come from
Mhm.
somewhere, right? So what
Something in
hangups
the
are you bringing?
past.
Well, like, where are you bringing this from? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I just don't like sucking dick. Like, why? It must come from somewhere.
Why?
Like, I don't get it. Because
And
I
sometimes
agree
they
with
just
you. I
haven't
feel like
found the enjoyment in it. That's why I said you just haven't
you're
got the
man
reaction
and
that
y'all
you wanted.
feeling each other and y'all get like that's what it is, and the chemistry is good and y'all in the same wavelength, then you're going to want to do it, right?
Mm,
And like you said,
absolutely.
you're not just gonna want to do it, you're gonna want to do it and bring him to his knees,
Mm.
you know. So yeah, so I feel like we need to get the classes. Wait, it's winter, y'all all listening don't have nothing else to do, we're all online. So sign up for the Zoom classes, sign up for the Patreon. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Sexual Essentials. That's Sexual Essentials with an S. And if you click the link in my bio, all my links are there. You know, look around in the highlights, all that. And my website is www.sexualessentials1.com. So,
I am going to put a link on my website so they can find me there when this episode comes out. You guys will have links to her and find everything, and then I will let you know what class I'm going to be in, so I could be in the back of the room.
look at everybody's name is there. I'm like, if you're there, let me know afterwards because I'm gonna act a fool the whole time.
Okay. I'm
Anyway.
gonna be in the back of the room, you know, sipping my Henny while I'm playing with my toy that you sent me. But I will be there. I will be there, so that we could do this together, because I think it'll be so much fun. And I think that is anything that you learn just makes you better, right? And
Absolutely, and I think it's a level of
we can all
cockiness.
be better.
It's a level of cockiness that you get when you put something in that tool belt. You know, like I learned how to do this. Let me put that in my little
And
in my
fellas,
back.
please do not think because there's two women talking that y'all don't need to take a class or two. Get over yourselves. I would rather you know everything and can teach that class to somebody else than you're just sitting around thinking that you know,
Yes,
right?
and men, you can take the masturbation squirting class so you can learn how to do that to her as well.
Yeah.
But
So
that's another class for another day.
thank you so much, Sexual Essentials,
Thank
for
you so
joining
much,
me. It was
Karen.
so much fun. I appreciate you, and I can't wait to work with you again. Hold on.
All right.